Running high-level, old-school Dungeons and Dragons is easy. You might ask yourself, how am I going to challenge the characters all the time once I get up to a certain high level? Well, old school is different when it comes to combat, and for you inexperienced people that don't really know that, we don't worry about balance in old school. To a point where even if high-level characters overwhelm an enemy, it's fine. You don't want that happening all the time. Of course, I get that, that part. But you're not failing as a DM if high-level characters overwhelm an enemy. And you're not worried about balance. What I really had to come up with as an old school DM was how do I give it experience later on to the point where, players really have a chance to level up at higher levels and get somewhere without it taking years. Well, I just approached it like many old school DMs did. I started giving out experience for non-combat things, right? I'm careful with how I give out experience for gold and stuff like that. But on top of that, you could give it experience for good roleplay, good interaction, all kinds of little things, saving the group, all kinds of little tasks that could be achieved by certain players with their characters or even the group that earns them overall more experience. And that type of experience earning becomes really important in later levels if you allow that to happen. So now players have all kinds of ways to earn experience points and not just, by going into combat or finding treasure. And it's okay if you cause a total party kill at higher levels because it's hard to put up a specific type of challenge to the characters. My players would know right away that I'm not worried about balance because I'm an old school dungeon master. So they know that I'm not going to worry if they got wiped out by a very powerful enemy. So I would tell players, don't worry about me trying to challenge you or give you some interesting encounter. You take care of your own self, right? And your own situation, and you better be careful with your characters when you approach combat in my game. I don't care if it's level 1 or level 15. Let's keep in mind that tabletop role-playing games aren't like video games. They're not meant to be perfect in their gamey aspect. There's a gamey aspect going on, but there's something more unique going on. You're living the life of a character. So I don't always worry if I'm sending an encounter that's meant to challenge you. Maybe I'll put out goblins where there's no trick. You're like level 9 with a group, and here's like 8 goblins that don't know you're level 9. So they're attacking your camp like you would be getting attacked, at level 1. And you're going to get up and wipe them out. And you might be wondering, like, what's wrong with Condor? Like, did he just fall off a cliff? Is this terrible DMing? Well, no. I don't just send combat at you just for the point of challenging you, right? And combat can be so many different things. Like, you might think, oh, there's a combat that's going to be challenging. Well, maybe there's no challenge at all, but maybe there's information on the monster. Maybe there's more than meets the eye going on. Not everything is going to be obvious. As an old school DM, you want to be that way. You want to be unpredictable. So players are always on the edge. It doesn't matter if they're at higher levels or lower levels. But again, when we get to higher levels, if you really want to learn how to deal with that, alternative ways to giving out experience, don't worry about combat balance, right? Like, treat it like you would at any other stage of the game. Level 1 to level 15. I brought out another video recently that should help you with high-level, old-school D&D gaming. And it's talking about practical ways to approach combat, right, as a DM. Right, like the monster might be overwhelming, but what if the monster has an attitude and doesn't attack every round? Maybe the monster lips off at the characters. Like there's a delay in what they're doing. So you can take that, alternative approach instead of just looking at the book and saying, oh, they attack every round and they do this. Well, they don't have to if they have a personality and you want to apply that to the fight. So if an enemy normally would be overwhelming, maybe who the enemy is makes them so flawed that it gives a chance to characters that normally wouldn't have a chance to beat that monster, a chance to beat that monster. Like on paper, they shouldn't be able to do this. But given the monster's personality, its attitude, it's going to open doors for these characters to have a chance, right, at winning that combat, at winning that fight. So definitely go back and check that video out. You know, if you haven't really approached combat in a more complex way, maybe you've been running the game where you run the monster by what the book says. Well, there's other ways to run the monster that doesn't break the game or break the rules of the game. All right, for now, take care. You know what you can do? You can hit the like button. You can share the video. Oh, and there's another button you can press. That one that lets you subscribe to my channel for more content. Oh yeah, there's that bell thing. You can press that so you know when I've uploaded a new video right away.